Hello and welcome back to Cryptocurrency Trading, Mastering Scalp Trading Strategies by Wealthy Education. In this video, we're going to take a look at morning and evening star candlesticks. Now, you'll notice I have a Tesla daily chart in front of you. Obviously not crypto, but it is a candlestick that needs a gap. So again, we're going to have to use a little bit of artistic endeavor to apply this to crypto, but it does work. So this is a morning star. Now, what makes it a morning star? We have a downtrend, then we have a gap in a small body, and then we have a gap higher. On a break above these three candlesticks, it shows that the downtrend ran out of momentum and we are in fact rising, hence the name morning star. Think about it, it makes a certain amount of sense. You could be very patient with these signals. They do tend to play out over longer term moves, multiple candles, just like this is an evening star. We gap higher. We show signs of hesitation. And then we drop from there. Now, that being the case, the market is just simply running out of exhaustion. Now, I do believe that you can transfer this over to crypto, but like I said, it's like so many other things when it comes to 24-hour markets. It does throw some technical analysis out the window, or at least the technical analysis harkens back to like the stock market when you have opening closes. So this is bearish evening star. This is bullish morning star. Get rid of those drawings and let's take a look in the crypto markets and see what we can find. So here's something that's a bit interesting. Technically, this is a hammer, but you could also call it an evening star. You could call this an evening star. Some people will call this a three bar reversal. So you get a long, short, and a longer one. And it's bullish, like we're turning around. Doesn't really matter. And that's kind of the point I'm trying to drive home in this video. What you're looking for is a long candlestick, a short candlestick, and hopefully a longer candlestick as well. You don't always get it quite that cleanly, but like this would be borderline evening star. What you're looking for is a sign that the market is slowing down. So here's an evening star. You could call this a morning star in theory. You could call this three morning stars. There's actually a triple morning star pattern. Wouldn't read too much into that though. If this one was a little longer, that could be a morning star. This could technically be a morning star, but it's also a hammer. This could technically be a morning star, but it's also an inverted hammer. Really, at the end of the day, it's all telling you the same thing. So I want to impress upon you that this is about reading what the market's trying to tell you, not worried about the exact pip-to-pip move. Here is an evening star. Nice body here, short body there, long body there. So how do you trade it? Well, number one, if you're conservative, you trade it on a break of the lowest of the three candlesticks, and you put a stop loss up here on this candlestick. Supports here, makes sense that we get there. So that is a evening star, or at least as good as they get in crypto. Morning star, inverted hammer, doesn't matter. But these are technical names that you will see. Nice crossover there as well. So your stop loss is here at the bottom of these three candlesticks, and then you get in at the top of this one. Like once you break that, it's a nice run. I mean, it went all the way up here without any issues. So you were looking at a 4 to 5 to 1 run there. Go ahead and take a look at Epe. Morning star. Shooting star. Both stars mean the same thing. So you're shorting on a break of the 3 candlesticks down here. And you can see we went all the way down to support, which you would expect. So your evening star worked out. Morning star right here. Not quite an inverted hammer. But kind of the same story. Right up here to resistance. Right where you'd expect. Stop loss here. Take out here. You aim for that. Good. Take a look at some more examples in another market. Ripple. Shooting star and or morning star. That actually does have a gap. That really only happens in the thinnest of markets though. Ripple not exactly liquid at all times. There is a morning star. There is, or an evening star. There's a morning star with a massive gap there. Morning star. So basically, at the end of the day, what you're looking for is a sign that the market has run out of momentum by forming a very little candlestick. Like this could be a morning star here or an inverted hammer. Really, as a trader, do you care what it's called? You just need to understand what it's going, what you would do with it. Here's one here. Stop loss here. Entry once we break there. Go to the resistance. Pretty straightforward. So in the next video, what I'll do is I'll throw some indicators and stuff on these types of setups and show you how they're used. Hello and welcome back to Cryptocurrency Trading, Mastery and Scalp Trading Strategies by Wealthy Education. In this video, I'll run through some examples of that morning star and an evening star candlestick pattern that I was just talking about, showing you how you might approach it in the real world. Dogecoin. So you can see we had a nice rally. We had this, what I would consider to be an evening star in this candlestick here. So clearly an area that the market has been paying attention to. If you're more conservative, you wait for the bottom of the 3 candlesticks here to break, and you aim for the first support level. About a 1-to-1 risk to reward ratio, give or take a few ticks. Not the greatest ratio, but I like the fact that it was such an obvious place of resistance. I might have taken that one. Morning star. Could make an argument that we're going to try to get back up into this area, which we did. Entry is there. Stop loss could be there. However, I would look at this as a combo trade in the sense that I would probably put my stop loss closer to the hammer. Or, for that matter, you could have just taken the hammer trade. So it's kind of 6 1 half dozen the other, but it does show how a lot of times this stuff does overlap. It's very common. Again, a morning star or a shooting star, take your pick. Morning star right here. 3-bar reversal if you like. Or excuse me, evening star, not morning star. Morning star right here. Notice how we're starting to lose strength in the histogram. Right at an area of resistance. So here you would have a breakdown below this candlestick. That being support. This being your target. And take a look at the moving averages. When you break down below it, it's right before it crosses. So that's obviously something worth paying attention to as well. Again, Morningstar hammer, probably more of a hammer, quite frankly. Yeah. Evening star or shooting star? To me, that's a shooting star because it has such a massive wick. That might be one way you choose to differentiate between the two, but they're not really traded any differently, so it doesn't really matter. Morning star here, way overbought. We can also take a look to see there is resistance there. You can also look at the overall trend over the last several days and notice that it's right at the 50% Fibonacci retracement level. So that is a reason to think that perhaps the market falls over. You get the stop loss here, your entry here, and you're aiming for down here. Ethereum, Bitcoin. Evening star, shooting star, same thing. Not quite a morning star. Too much noise or similarity. Here's a nice one. So take a look at this. I'm going to go ahead and hide these moving averages. But we have the histogram heading towards the green right here. And this is nice because it has such a small amount of risk for a potentially large amount of reward. I'd also point out that this is an area that, although sliced through recently, had been support. With that, I'd be interested. Go ahead and get rid of the lines, and let's take a look at the fib. And you can see it's right around the 50% fib. So, again, it's a matter of adding all these things together and coming up with a decent trade. So that was the end of Module 4, Price Action Scalping Strategies. In the next video, I'll begin Module 5, Risk Management and Trade Execution.